Welcome to Grow Kids! I'm Pastor Justin.
I'm Pastor PJ. Welcome back to Grow Kids, where we have been learning about growing our faith in Christ and launching our faith into new heights with our Blast Off series, which has been really fun. And I remember a few weeks ago, maybe you have a really, really good memory and remember the phrase of the day. It was, we can spend time with God. That God loves us so much, He wants to spend time with you.
We also learned after that we can share God's story. Remember how in space we can't talk and we were trying to show each other to find the rocket ship without our words, right? That was an incredible lesson.
That was fun. That was really fun. I remember last week we also learned that we don't grow our faith by ourselves. That people can help our faith grow. That it's not just about us figuring it out alone, but God gives us people that surround us, our parents, our friends, our pastors, that help us grow closer to Jesus. And that's a pretty great blessing.
It has been really fun spending all this time in space, right? I mean, we were shooting asteroids, we were hunting for rocket ships all around the room, we were hopping from planet to planet. What are you doing there, buddy?
I don't know, man. We're just getting comfortable. Talking about astronauts and their space suits and their space boots. And being an astronaut would be hard work, and I'm a hard-working dude, and my dogs are barking. So just taking a little bit of a tootsie break, let my dogs breathe.
It does make sense. I mean, if you're an astronaut with all that gear, you could use a really good foot soak. So, I think it's what we'll do.
A foot soak, you said?
Yeah, for this next activity here and in your homes, we're going to soak our feet a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a blindfold on Pastor PJ. I'm going to stick his feet in a lovely warm bucket of nice water. And then I'm going to put objects in this bucket one at a time, and he's going to try to guess what they are using just his feet. What do you think about that?
I think that sounds both fun and potentially really gross. So let's do it.
First up, second, Noah's Ark. Shh. Lastly, couldn't find a baby Ruth. So when astronauts take their boots off, their feet are sweaty and gross and they need a bath. And so Pastor PJ is about to give his feet a bath, in which he tries to figure out what is he sticking his feet in. Now, I was kind and I put water in our bucket so that I can set some things in it that aren't necessarily super gross. So let's see if he can figure out what they are. First up. Shh. Okay. Put your foot in.
So it's in? Okay.
It's in. See if you can figure it out.
Feet are big. Is it a ball?
No.
Feels like a plastic fish.
No. It's organic.
It's organic. Weird. Is a piece of fruit?
Nope. A vegetable.
Is it a potato?
It's a potato! Round 2. Gently. Okay, go ahead.
Gently. What is even happening?
You're gonna move it around.
I can't even get my foot in the thing. I can't reach it with my big feet. Is it like a Nerf gun?
No.
Is it plastic?
Yes.
Is it a toy?
Yes. Can you guess what toy?
From Barry?
Here, wait. I'll hold it up for you.
Ah, it's tickling.
Now you can feel more of it.
Is it a boat?
Yeah.
It's a toy boat?
It's Noah's Ark, man!
Oh! Of course I should have gotten that with my blindfold on.
Last round. Okay.
I didn't like the sound of that. Oh. Ew, what is it? Ew. What is it? It's like a hot dog?
No.
Is it organic?
I don't know.
You don't know? It feels kind of like a toy.
No.
It's small. It feels like a hot dog.
It's the size of a hot dog.
Ew, a finger? Ew, it's slippery.
Hell?
Ew, is it gonna bite me?
No.
It's really slippery and slimy. What is
You,
that?
the last word you said was half right.
Slimy?
Nope. Sorry.
Slippery.
Nope.
Hot dog?
Oh.
Is it brownies?
No.
Is it candy?
Yes.
It's candy?
Uh-huh.
Is it Airheads?
No.
Is it chocolate? Or
Yes.
It's chocolate? How is it chocolate? That's so weird. Is it like wet Oreos?
No.
It's not cookies.
Nope.
It's not brownies.
No.
Is it cake?
No.
It's a dessert.
Yes.
It's chocolate.
Yes.
Is it fudge?
No, you buy it
It's
in
chocolate. Is it like a candy bar?
Yes.
Oh, weird.
Bonus points if you know what kind of candy bar.
Oh, now I gotta figure. Ew, sick. It's so slimy. Butterfinger.
Yeah!
Pastor Justin, as predicted, that was both really fun and kind of gross. I was wondering, have you ever stepped in anything really gross before?
I have 3 dogs,
Okay.
and on more than one occasion, I have stepped in something from said dogs, and it was disgusting. What about you?
That sounds gross. I don't know. I don't step in a lot of gross stuff, but I was thinking maybe like the side of a lake or a pond where you step in and the mud it just sucks your whole foot and leg in and it's kind of just nasty
The
and
seaweed
muddy.
wraps around you.
Yeah. So that's just kind of gross. But other than that, no, I can't really think of anything. But that kind of reminds me of, we're talking about feet and kind of gross things. It's actually, in a silly way, it reminds me of the story we're going to look at today. And there's this group of guys in our story called disciples. And disciples were followers of Jesus. And it was a group of men who went out and taught about Jesus everywhere. And they traveled from town to town, miles and miles, all over the place. And they didn't have sneakers like we do. They had these sandals, and as you can imagine, their feet got pretty gross. And so one day, the disciples met with Jesus, and even though their feet were really gross, and it was kind of a difficult thing to do, Jesus, out of his love for them, washed their feet, which can teach us a lot about serving others. It also teaches us about how we can launch our faith in God into new heights by actually serving other people.
That's today's big idea, right? Is that we can serve other people. Let's say this together.
We can serve others.
I'm Bobby and I grew up on my family's farm. I moved to the big city, let adventure take me far. It's Hobbies with Bobby, yeah! This is Hobbies with Bobby.
Welcome back to the craft basement in my family's farm. I've been trying to convert these bottles into bird feeders, but I got myself covered in glue, birdseed, and bottle bits. I'm gonna have to clean this mess up. Give me a second here. I'm gonna take this load out to the recycling bin. You guys, I just came back from the recycling bins, and they're next to my neighbor Farmer Mason's trash and recycling bins, and someone knocked them all over. What a cruel thing to do. There's trash ripped up all over the front yard. It smells terrible. What should I do? If I go tell him, maybe he'll think I did it. I could just leave it and he'll discover it soon enough, right? I could help clean it up. Ugh, it's so gross and it's all over and right by the road. What if someone from school drives by and think it's me picking up gross and smelly garbage? What a geek with goggles and gloves and something to plug my nose. I'll be honest with you, no one will know if I don't do it. Farmer Mason could do it himself. I mean, it is his trash, right? Have you ever spilled something? I have. In my family, we have a tradition. If you spill something, everyone else helps you clean it up. You already feel embarrassed and silly for having spilled, so the rest of our family helps you clean it up. But this seems way more gross than just a spilled drink or something. Do you think there's a Bible story that could give me some guidance here? Let's take a look.
It's Bible time, time for the Bible, yeah! It's Bible time with Bobby.
The Bible story this week comes from the book of John, and it happens right before Jesus is killed and comes back to life. This is actually the story of what happened right before his last meal with his friends. If you could have a big party with your friends, what is your favorite food you'd want to eat? Quickly, tell the person next to you. All of Jesus' friends arrived at their last meal together, and normally a servant in the house would wash everyone's feet before they entered the house. It was their way of welcoming people in and getting ready for supper. But for this meal, even though Jesus was their leader, he took off his nice clothes, bent down, and washed their feet. One of Jesus' followers named Peter was uncomfortable. He didn't want someone he looked up to touching his feet. But Jesus insisted, and then told him that he was setting an example for how everyone, even the important people like leaders and teachers, need to be willing to serve, that they should follow his example. He finished the story by saying, "A new command I give you, love one another, as I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." Wait a second. We don't do anything like wash our guests' feet anymore. Hey, Miss Sophie, do you have an example of how this might fit for us now?
There has to be more here. More here. There has to be more here.
Thanks for asking, Bobby, and hello, everyone. Well, in Bible times, they didn't have cars or trains or bicycles or buses to go places. They mainly rode on animals or walked everywhere. When they walked, they didn't have nice concrete or pavement roads. They had dirt roads. And on top of that, they didn't have nice closed-toed shoes or sneakers. They mostly wore flat sandals. So if you think your feet can get dirty or smelly, imagine that you only wore sandals, walked everywhere you went on dirt roads, and there was animal poop everywhere. Your feet would be triple gross, right? Well, Jesus wanted to show an extreme example of serving our neighbors, even when it would be dirty, gross, or embarrassing. Jesus says at the end that the new commandment he is giving them is to love one another, and washing feet is how he chose to model that love for them. Bobby, what do you think about that?
Wow, okay, that's a pretty extreme example of Jesus doing something to love his friends. Jesus models for us that it's okay to risk embarrassment to help others. That can be difficult, but loving others is what Jesus tells us to do. It's how people will know I follow Jesus. I think that means I need to go clean up Farmer Mason's garbage bins, even if someone might see me and make fun of me at school. Okay, I'm gonna find some gloves and pick up the trash so I can serve others like Jesus. Guess what? It went great. I started picking up the trash, and Farmer Mason saw me working, and he came out to help. He knew I didn't do it because we found some possum tracks around the trash can and bite marks on the trash. We cleaned it up quick, and then his family invited me in for some lasagna, my favorite food. Today, I learned that Jesus wants us to love others by serving them, even if it can be embarrassing or hard for us to do. This week, what are some ways you can love people by serving them? Think about that silently for 5 seconds. I want you to come up with one example of how you can serve others. Ready? Silent thinking. All right, I'm excited for you to be able to put your love into action. Remember, we can serve others. I hope to see you again soon. Have a great week loving others. Bye.
This is Hobbies with Bobby.
Hi, boys and girls. This is Mr. Davis. I'm here to share something about our lesson today with you. I have a question, though, for you. Other than Jesus, who is somebody who's really important? You see, when most people think of important individuals, they think of people with lots of power. They think of famous people, maybe rich people, possibly kings or queens, people who have money or who have servants. Some of the people think that presidents or actors would be very important people. Those people, they would never do what Jesus did in our story today, because Jesus never acted like an important person. And because he didn't act like an important person, some people were confused about who Jesus was. They thought that if Jesus was important, he would be acting the way that rich and powerful people act. But instead of collecting lots of money, building big houses for himself or palaces, or wearing a fancy crown, Jesus gave all of his stuff away. Instead of having lots of servants do his work for him, Jesus spent his whole life serving other people. So today, I've got something to show you to give you an idea of what Jesus is like. You see, Jesus is like this arrow right here, okay? And I want you to understand that Jesus, when the rest of the world says, go this way, Jesus would go in the opposite direction. Let me show you that again, boys and girls. When the rest of the world says go this way, Jesus did the opposite thing. So, boys and girls, it's important to know that Jesus was the most important person in the world. But instead of demanding that other people do what rich and famous people did, Jesus did the opposite thing. Thank you for taking part in our lesson today, boys and girls.
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Nikki, and this is Emma, and we're going to do this month's Bible verse for you in sign language to help us remember it. It's Psalm 119, verse 105. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Your
Yeah.
word
Word
is a light
is a light
for
for
my
my
feet,
feet
and a light on
and the light on
my
my
path. Let's try one more time, okay? Your
yeah.
word
Word
is a light
is a light
for
for
my
my
feet,
feet.
a light on
A light on
my
my
path. Nice job. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Well, thank you again for joining us this week for Grow Kids. I know I learned this week a lot about Jesus and how much he loves us and how much he calls us to work with him in serving others, serving those around us. Remember, we learned about Jesus washing the disciples' feet after they walked on dusty roads and it was gross, that Jesus, even though he is the Lord of all, he washed the disciples' feet as a sign of love and service to them. And he said, go and do as I am showing you what to do. Go and do likewise. And one thing I think that is amazing about Jesus is he doesn't just offer to wash our feet, that Jesus gave his life for us. Jesus would do anything to be with us. And so he also calls us to be like him, to serve the people in our lives, to serve the people that he's given us opportunity to love and to serve. And that we learned in our object lesson that a lot of times the world says, you should serve me, give me stuff, give me more stuff. But Jesus gave a different direction. He said, no, life is about giving to others, loving others and serving them. And that is really our big idea for this week, that we can serve others. That even if you're really little, even if you're in pre-K, even if you're 99 years old, everybody can serve other people. And that is an important task that Jesus has given us, an important thing that he's modeled for us, that he has served us, so then we can go then and serve others. So that's something that I've learned that was pretty cool for me this week. Hopefully you learned something too. Hopefully you had some fun. Remember, until next time, that God loves you so much that he wants you to love him and love those around us. Have a great week.